What up, YouTube? What up, YouTube? What up, YouTube? This your boy No Filter right here. I know it's been a minute, guys. I know it's not been. I have done streams. I've done streams lately, but I know it's been a minute since I have done Creators Block. This is I don't know what episode this is right now currently, guys. I know it's been. It's not been. I have done streams. I've done streams lately. There we go. Fuck this shit. Well, shit. Whatever. Can't edit that shit out. Fuck it. Whatever. Do it live, nigga. We're doing it live, nigga. Fuck this shit. Anyway, yeah. Today's episode is Creators Block. Today's I'm gonna talk about something that's been really bothering me, cause y'all, the Creators Block. It talks about basically being a comic book creator myself. Being a comic book creator and content creator myself, it really bothers me, and it really starting to hurt me because it's something I want to talk about. And I can do a monologue. I'll do this, and I'm probably do this. Matter of fact, let me leave the link to this discussion in the chat. If you guys want to join the discussion. Let me see this. All right. I left the link to the Hangout, guys. You guys can join anytime you want to. But let me get to the rest of this video. All right, this is Creators Block. This is episode. I gotta catch up with 30. I gotta start memorizing numbers. But I don't know, episode 4 or 5, 6. I don't know what episode this is. But this is basically episode 5, I think. I don't know. I got to check. But episode 5 of Creators Block. And today's episode is gonna be something I really want to talk about. But I know Johnny's working, so I can't. I know Johnny will have more knowledge about it. But I want to discuss something that's really been bothering me, and this is something that bothers me because I'm a content creator myself, and I create characters, I create cults. I love comic books. I love anything geek related, especially comic book related. So I love comic books. And this has been on my mind like heavily a lot lately, and it's the comic book crash. And even though I can't stand Marvel and their social justice politics, I don't own a comic shop, but like I go to a lot of comic shops. And when I'm from Atlanta, I'm not gonna say what part of Atlanta I dox myself, but like I'm from Atlanta, and like we have like we have like 3 comic shops, which is very rare. And I'm not gonna say when I go to dox myself, but like it's a dope, so I love comic books, and and to me, and I was kind of playing with this thought when I was on the bus coming up with this idea, guys. I'm doing this off the cuff, so this came fresh to my head. And guys, I'm start doing a lot of streams a lot more because I feel like I need to get back on it. And MU, man, man, I hope you survived Hurricane Irma, man. We need to get Dragon Ball podcast. I tried to get it to work, but YouTube was fucking with the bullshit, whatever. But anyway, let's get into the rest of the topic, man. Today's topic is about the comic book crash, comic books, and they're not selling from Marvel to DC to Image to Dark Horse and IDW. What scares me about this, and I think that I'm currently reading an article while talking to you guys. I think IDW profits is down 91%, 91.1%. I don't know. I'm for sure. I got to read more of the article. And you guys know I started Creators Block solely based off the creators' content. Shout out to Stuart, shout out to Armchair, shout out to all the mid-towers out there that's into comic books, that's want to do into the industry. But I think one of my things were what we're going to talk about today is the comic book crash. And could you see it crashing? And do you think with comics not selling, could you picture is it going to be a time, or is there going to be a future where could you not imagine comics not selling or comic book stores closing up? Because I have one store, I'm not gonna name it, but I go to the store and I buy toys, I buy merchandise, I buy a lot of gear, I buy a lot of clothes, like t-shirts, like comic book t-shirts. They're from them. And my biggest fear for them is I don't want them to go out of business because I love comic books. And comic books, if you guys know how much, which is why this topic breaks my heart a lot of time talking about this, because even though I want it, in a way I don't want to feel conflicted a lot of times, but in a way I want it, so we can get these social justice warriors out of comic books, because I feel like it ruined every goddamn thing. These people, these gay people, trans, whatever, the left, these people that talk about diversity, but they don't buy the material. And you got the fans that want to see these characters come back and it's going into it. But like, I was asking myself, like, I played with the thought of, is a crash good? Is it bad for the industry? Is it you know, so not good or bad. Is it good for the industry or is it bad for the industry? And I think good is because we'll get rid of these shit ass writers who can't write comic books for shit. But the bad is a lot of comic book shops can go out of business. And if you guys don't know about me, man, I started getting into comic books solely around what, 21, 22, 23. I started getting around comic books heavily. I created my first character when I was 23. I turned 28. I'm turning 29 this upcoming month, which is in October. And for you guys don't know, Spider-Man, Batman, I was my favorite character, but Spider-Man, I started reading Spider-Man comic books. I started reading I always read Batman comic books as a kid, so I even read Batman comic books as a kid. But y'all don't know, you know, I'm the geeky guy I am right now with the toys and stuff like that. I was not this heavily, like, I was always into comic books when I was a kid, but I was never really, let me just say this, I was never really into it where it's like, what can I say this? I was never really into comic books like when I was always into it, but I was not like I was not into it to the point where I wanted to write and create like what I'm in right now currently. But like I was never really heavily into that involved with it. I just read it as a kid. I'm pretty sure like you guys did, but you didn't really want into the industry. And then, you know, my thing was, but I was always a geeky guy. I was always into comic books, and comic books was one of those things, especially back in the day. It was not popular to love the stuff, not like how it is back in today. Because back in the day, it was way different. I mean, people just saw it as a kids media for kids. But when I first created my first character, I was always in the comic books. But when I first, even I admit this, even when I first created my character, it was always one of those things where it was just a thing to do. I just created the character, no backstory, no side characters, no good villains. I just created the character, and then the more I start creating, and this is like what 2012. This is I think about 12, like 2012, 2012, 2013 when I heard of MGTOW. I heard of it, and I was still going through all the blue pill simp days. And then when I finally said fuck it, I'm going my own way, I start becoming a better content, you know, and I started writing comic books like 2015. I started writing comic books 2015, like 2015 of last year, and now I have written over like, I can't give you an accurate number because I'm writing, I write so much. I take some days off. I take like 1 or 2 days off because it does become a drag. But start that point, and I start becoming a good content creator. I start focusing on good villains. I start going on like the side characters, the main overarching villains, the cults, the disciples. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and you know, y'all guys don't know about me, man. Comic books helped me get through a time in my life when I was a virgin at the time period. And this is like when I was getting pressure and shame from my friends, I would read a lot of Spider-Man comic books. And this was like when Spider-Man comics was still selling at Marvel. And it's like around the major Spider-Man time when the major Spider-Man movies was coming out at that time period. And I read Spider-Man comic books and I related to Peter Parker because I felt like I was that guy. You know, I felt like I was Peter Parker where, you know, I was this guy that just this geeky guy, you know, this socially awkward guy, you know, who for me, you know what I'm saying, it's like who never really had a problem getting girls, but girls never liked me, whatever. But the whole idea was I related to comic books and I finally started becoming a geek. That's when I started wearing Spider-Man hoodies, t-shirts, and backpacks, because I wear superhero backpacks. You guys don't know personally, but whatever. And when I started wearing comic books got me into that mode of finally embracing being a geek. And I'm pretty sure, being a young black male myself, I'm pretty sure the two guys watching this thing right now, you guys grew up watching this, grew up reading comic books for so long. And when I was thinking about this topic, you know, the comic book crash industry and not selling stores going out of business, and it, you know, I was thinking about this. And I was asking myself, do I really want to crash? Is a crash good? Is a crash bad? And I'm gonna try to look at it from both sides. I'm gonna try to see what's the problem and can it be fixed, or do just mean to officially reboot this thing and just start all over, even if that means stores shutting down. And I'm from Atlanta because we don't have that many comic book stores. But let me tell you the reason why I wanted to discuss this topic, because I've been wanting to discuss it for a very, very long time, especially with Johnny. But Johnny's kind of busy, so you know, I'm just going to monologue this whole thing. But when you basically, y'all guys don't know how much I love comic books, so I'm approaching it from this topic. To me, in a way, I think a comic book crash could help, because it's gonna get these social justice warriors, these companies that hire these females because they gotta fit some gender quota, and they gotta hire a female editor, whatever. Get rid of all these social justice warriors that ruin the comic books, who don't give a fuck about the source material, who do not care about the lore, the years, the stories that have been built around these characters, why people gravitate toward these characters. And you know, these people who have no business writing comic books that's in the industry, and we get rid of them. Even, you know, even though I love DC Rebirth, I think DC Rebirth have restored my faith back into the company. But even get rid of Dan Dio and Jim Lee, and and start bringing it back to elements. And I think one of the biggest reasons why comic books are not selling, this is my observation of the whole industry: too many events, social justice politics, the editors and writers, and publishers treating the fans like shit, constant reboots, um diversity for the diversity being forced down people's throats. You got Marvel, and this was just politics. They trying to make they got rid of Logan and gave us X-23, which is the female Wolverine. They gave us female Thor. They gave us Squirrel Girl. They gave Riri Williams. And I've been thinking about this. Why I think that what's so sad about this is, to me in general, is that Marvel. And I remember growing up on Marvel too, and I can't imagine a world. And it's sad to say this. I think that and this is why I kind of got mad at this shit too. When Disney brought fucking Marvel, I was really upset at that news, because to me, it's basically saying that Disney do not care about the lore. My dad was a Captain America fan. My dad grew up loving Captain America. So he read Captain America comic books, especially when he was fighting Hitler and the Nazis, whatever. So, like, the whole idea, and just like, my dad grew up on Captain America, and my dad loved Captain America. My dad really loved it. And the whole idea, was even more crazier. Growing up, like, my dad would buy me comic books, like most Batman comic books, because I was always into it. One of my things were, when I was coming up with this video, what I was really wanting to find something to talk about is that, guys, and it really breaks my heart. I said, I really can see comic books fading out. And it breaks my heart, because I want to, I'm a content creator myself, because comic books made me embrace being the geek I am today. It made me embrace being my own person. It makes me finally embrace being that guy, that geeky guy in the room that can talk about Batman for 2 hours. I love comic books. You know what I'm saying? Even some of the comic book movies I hate, even some of the comic book movies I watched, like, I love, get me wrong, I love the comic books. I love comics. And comic books, it has been so much of a pastime for the youth, and not just for the older generation, but the younger generation as well. And it's like the older generation, it breaks my heart to imagine a world without comic books. What would that be like? Like, oh my God, like, I can't believe, I definitely can't believe. What up, man? What up, man? Let me add you to the let me add you to the let me add you. Let me add, what's his name? Let me add you to the jump. Matter of fact, how you say your name? Let me tell you, what is it? Ojan Harbinger of Iron. And join the conversation, man, if you're in the comic books, because I want to hear your take on it. Let me see. Subscribe to you, whatever. Oh shit. Got some dope content. Let me see. I'm gonna add you to the comments. Let me add you. Let me add you to the thing, so I can add you to this. There we go. Oh snap! Hold on. Let me add you. Let me add you to it, because Google Plus won't let me do this bullshit while I'm doing the fucking thing. Now, let me add you to it, because you got a mic? Because I want to add you to this conversation, but yeah, let me go into this point. What I'm saying. I definitely think, it breaks my heart to definitely see. I can't imagine a world of comic book without comic books. But with the way the industry is going, I can see it happening. And I really want people to understand, man. I really do want people to understand. I really do want people to really understand where I'm coming from. I followed you on Google Plus, Ojan Harbinger of Iron. Like, yeah. Follow me back so I can add you to the stream. I'll follow me back so I can add you to the stream, bro. Let me see. Yeah. Let me okay. All right, there we go. Let me go back to what I was saying before. Yeah, but I think definitely it's I definitely find it sad that we can there's gonna become a time where comic books become obsolete. One of my things that I was really thinking about this topic too, where it's like without comic books, what's going to be where people are where are the people that's into comic books, people that embrace the source material, that love comic books, where are they going to go to escape the real world? I mean, you got politics infused in sports, entertainment, comic books, genre, TV shows, whatever, but so politics involved in everything, from Trump to Hitler, Trump to Black Lives Matter. It's so much stuff going on in today's society that some people just want to pick up a comic book and escape it. But how, and I think this is my observation too of the industry, that I think people are really getting fed up with the people getting fed up. People are really getting fed up with the industry, and they are really getting fed up with the industry, and they are starting to see um the things that crack into the industry. And I feel like a lot of the times, and this is my observation. This is my observation of society, and this is really my observation of it. This is like for me, this is my observation of it. Um, let me see. Friends. There we go. I add you. I got you, man. I got you. Let me see you. Let me see you invite so I can add you to it. Friends. Where's your friends? Oh snap. Let me go, man. Fuck this shit. Oh damn it, man. Matter of fact, what's the guy? What's your name? Going to it. Going to matter of fact, go to Ogun. Yeah, I got it. Ogun Harbinger of Iron. Um, click on the hangout link, and click on the hangout link so you can join into the conversation, because I want to hear your input on it. But I was like, let me see, shit. I gotta say this. Um, trying to get this thing together. Now, okay, now I can get back to my talking points. But like, yeah, I definitely can imagine. I think the politics and the fans and the writers treating the fans like crap is really hurting the industry. I think that that people are getting fed up with the politics and the other stuff that goes into it. These social justice warriors, the millennial females, these people that's graduating from college, they don't give a fuck about source material. They don't care about comic books. They just trying to get their political agenda off. And it's like these people that they care more about, blocking fans on Twitter, on Twitter, and treating them like assholes. And I think that to me, that I think this time when the comic book crash, it's going to be a permanent crash. And I think that to me, it's going to fade out. And, I'm not a fan of digital comic books. And I think a solution would be digital, but everybody's in my internet's pretty good. I'm not saying my internet's not real good, but my internet's pretty good. But I think that the future of it, and much as I would disagree with it, I think they might go digital. And I think that's gonna be dumb to me, because to me, my thing is, look, I don't mind streaming services, but like a digital comic book, I hate digital comics. I hate them. Like, I have like comics ideology on my iPad, and like it's a cool app to have, and I got like a lot of old Batman comic books and everything. But like, they cool to have, but it's nothing like buying a comic book, going to the store, buying the comic book, reading it, getting, getting the story, whether it's a one-off story, event page, whatever. But I also think the reason why the comic book crashed into me, and I stayed just on make this a solid point. I think event fatigue. I think that it's too much. It's too many events going. It's too many events, It's too many events going on. And I think definitely people are really just they are really getting tired. They are really getting tired of the bullshit. And I think a lot of the times when we talk about when you talk about this, you talk about the comic book crash, or we talk about the comic book industry, it's crashing. It's gonna go down. And I think a lot of people, me being one of those people, is that people are getting fed up with the constant shitty reboots. And even though I think DC has brought the faith back, DC still some of my faith in someone of the industry. I think definitely the comic book industry is on a downtake. I think profits are declining, and I think that in order for the comic book industry fatigue, maybe a reset is a good thing. Maybe the comic book industry being constantly being reset is a good thing. And much as I don't agree with it, because I feel like comic book shops are going to go out of order, but I think it's the price of business. And I think that, to me, I don't really blame the shops, and I think that I don't blame these comic shops for not wanting to buy Marvel comic books, because their books are not selling, and then that's dead merchandise. That's dead merchandise. You gotta wait. Plus, you can't return the books. And I think that definitely I'm listening, doing things around the house, might pop in. Um, Definitely, I think definitely the comic book industry could be one of those. The comic book industry definitely needs to get some type of revamp. I think definitely we need to I think definitely it needs to it definitely needs to get some type of revamps. I think definitely I like I said before, I think it's interesting. It's definitely interesting where the industry is going, where the industry, what I'm saying, where the industry is going to be going through this time period. Um, where the industry going to be going, and like I said before, what else can I say? What else can I say about this topic? Because I won't drag this out too long, because this is kind of like a monologue. But fuck it, I don't mind doing this. Let me see, what else can I say? I think, to me, I think this is the number one cause to it. Um, Being an asshole to the fans. And I think that being with these comic book companies, especially with Marvel editors and Marvel people, the people at Marvel being an asshole about it, talking shit to the fans, blocking them on Twitter, calling them assholes and trolls, and saying that this is harassment. I think, like, if you go back to comic books when it was like selling 1 million copies, 200,000, 800,000, 500,000, they were selling like hotcakes when number ones actually meant something. I think when you talk about the industry and the way the industry is going to set up, I think that, to me, the one biggest problem too is, number one, is like too many number one variant covers. You got too many variant covers, number one covers. This diversity thing in Marvel going on, trying to swap all the male characters out for female, and you're shitting on the male fan base because there's people who want to read Steve Rogers. They want to see Tony Stark, Iron Man. They want to see Thor, Odinson. They want to see Hawkeye. They want to see Black Widow. They want to see some of these characters, like the characters of the movies. And I think that, to me, one of the things that Marvel don't get is, to me, if I was running Marvel, I would play it based off the movies. I would kind of like, use the likeness of the character. I think that, like, and I think that's why even back in the day when you had Batman 1989 come out, I remember when Batman 1989 came out, with Tim Burton Batman came out, and then the comic book came out. Look, it may not, the Bruce Wayne in it didn't quite look like the Bruce Wayne in the comic book. Did not quite look like the Bruce Wayne in the movie, but the costume was kind of somewhat similar to the one in Batman 1989. And I think a lot of the time that they should play off the movies. I mean, the movies are very popular, and plus giving the fans what they want. But I think that long as we have, and this is kind of in a monologue here, but long as we have these social justice warriors, in Marvel or at DC or IDW or any of these major comic book companies out there, that's what's gonna happen. The comic book crash is gonna happen. But this your boy No Filter right here. I gotta figure out what episode this is. This is episode of Creators Block. It's kind of short and brief because I wanted to do for me. But you know what? I might do a part 2 to this, guys. So I see you guys next time, and I will be doing. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do a part 2 to this, probably today, tomorrow. I don't know when. Probably do it tomorrow because I have more time. But this your boy No Filter, man. Peace. Mita out.